Hey everybody, Icy Cat here. I just got back from E3 and had a chance to sit down with the build of Ghost Recon Wildlands. While there's lots of new info to go over, we'll start with the literal beginning of the game as we discuss character creation next. First up, I just want to address the fact that my voice sounds like garbage right now. I've spent all week at E3. You have to talk loud over all the noise that's there. There's music everywhere and talking everywhere, and you have to almost shout to be heard oftentimes. And I've spent all week doing that, so I feel like a recovering drill instructor at this point with just like how my voice sounds and how my throat feels. But anyway, let's move on. During the E3 Masterclass, the Ghost Recon dev team answered a question regarding the ability to customize your character, and they dropped a bomb of information that disclosed a full-blown character customization system. We were all pretty sure you were going to have at least some minor ability to customize your character's outfit, given the Huntsman content. This is a pack of items you get in exchange for getting certain versions of the game, such as the Deluxe Edition. It specifies, among other things, 3 items for character customization, and an image is shown in some examples where you can make out different clothing options on an operator. We weren't sure who that operator was, as he didn't seem to be one of the 4 operators that had been shown so far in all the footage and trailers up to this point. Some people speculated he was a new operator, while others thought maybe you got him as a special edition unlock. Still others assumed he was just like a placeholder mannequin to display the new gear, as he had a different appearance and hairstyle than the others. Well, now we know why that is. The reason he didn't look like the other operators is because he is in fact a completely unique custom operator, and we'll be able to make our own at the start of the game. The Ghost Recon devs informed everyone during the E3 Masterclass that we would be able to completely create our own character. We can choose the gender of our operator, what kind of hairstyle they have, skin color, clothing options, and more. You'll be able to build any kind of operator you want to and kit them out however you like. This is really interesting. This takes customizing your character to a whole new level never before seen in a Ghost Recon game. Pair that up with the new gunsmith system returning from Future Soldier, and we're really going to be able to dial in exactly the kind of ghost we want to play as. Now, the impact on gameplay is largely meaningless, of course. What you look like is something that only affects your appearance in the game world. It's still cool though, because it gives you ownership over a character and allows you to really feel vested in a soldier that you built and customized yourself. Of course, there is a possibility that it could influence the game world in some small ways if they decided to have it react that way. There may be female-specific reactions or male-specific reactions from NPCs in the game world, possibly even certain racial tensions. However, I'm just putting this out there as a mere possibility. This is first and foremost an open-world military stealth action style game, as far as we know anyway. It's not on a deep role-playing level with all kinds of branching dialogue options like Mass Effect or something. Though, I should say that can't be ruled out as a possibility yet either. For instance, we do know there is experience points in the game, as seen in bonus content for various editions of the game and Season Pass info. We don't know what the XP is used for yet, so maybe there's more RPG in here than we realize. I'd still call some of that a remote possibility, though. I mean, I think they realized the line would blur a little too much with The Division if they carried over too many of those role-playing elements. But as I said, we can't rule out anything one way or the other just yet, even though I don't think it's going to go in that role-playing direction. We'll have to wait for more information to understand what the experience point system is really going to be used for. Another interesting question this raises is whether or not the character creation system expands to the other 3 members of your team. The game can be played either solo campaign or drop in 2, 3, or 4-player co-op. When you play solo, you still have a 4-man team. It's just those other 3 are controlled as friendly AI bots. So can you customize what they look like too, or is it just your primary character? When other friends do join your game cooperatively, what happens to them? Do they take on the visual characteristics of whatever you've created for your AI teammates as they fill in for them? If you can't customize the friendly AI teammates, do they just stay as the vanilla appearance we've seen so far, and your live co-op players now look like that? Or do your friends appear as whatever custom characters they've created for themselves when joining your gameplay session? Does that friendly AI sort of teleport out and just become this completely different looking character now when your friends join? We just don't know. While we don't have any concrete information on what that looks like yet, I do know what my personal preferences would be. I'd love to see the character creation extended across all 4 members of your team for friendly AI. Make not just yourself, but your whole unit look exactly how you want them to. When you play co-op with live players, I'd like them to enter the game world as whatever custom character they've designed themselves as, gear, weapons, and all. If you allow this level of customization for character creation, but then you strip it out the minute the player enters a friend's game world, you're now taking away a major incentive to play the game that way. Like, I made this really cool operator or soldier, whatever you want to call it, but I never get to play as him or her because I always play with friends and it makes me play as their characters instead of the one I built for myself. If that's the case, well then that would be pretty lame, honestly. Part of putting a lot of work into detailing your character's appearance, gear, and weapons is for yourself, yeah, but it's also so you can kind of show that off a little bit too. Now I know some players don't care at all about that, but for many players, myself included, it's a very cool thing to say to my friends, hey, check out my new gear, or the new attachments, or the new camo on my weapon, or whatever. And if they're gonna do a system like this, I hope they do it right. If you only have 3 or 4 presets per gender, then that's better than nothing, true, but I'd like to see enough options in there to be able to make my character look pretty close to however I want. Like, if I'm making an operator based on myself, I want to be able to make it look at least a little bit close for an approximation. Same if I'm making a character look like someone I know. If you're going to have a system like this in play, then make it good enough that it's worth it if you're going to implement it in the first place. Have lots of options for detailing that character's appearance. So if, say, you're a certain ethnicity or nationality and you want to make a character based off yourself in the game, but you have literally one facial preset to choose from for that race or whatever, and you can't modify that appearance, I mean, that's going to get kind of annoying. Now, I'm not saying we have to go as far out there as like Skyrim, where you adjust the angle of the upper part of the nose and the ridge line of the eyebrows, and like, I'm not saying it has to be all that detailed either, but maybe something kind of in the middle where you don't just have a couple of presets and yet you don't have to spend an hour adjusting every little facial feature either. And again, I get it. There's some people that don't care one bit what they look like in the game and might even be annoyed by a character customization feature in the first place. Well, if that's you, then just mash your way through the opening menus as fast as possible when you start a new game with however you look, and you'll lose nothing at all for it since you're not interested in the customization anyway. Other than a few extra menus to press confirm on at the start of the game, it won't bother your experience at all. But for everybody else that wants that depth of customization, I sincerely hope it's done well. What are your thoughts on character customization coming to Ghost Recon? Share down in the comments below or head on over to the Ghost Recon subreddit or official forums and discuss it there. You'll find the links for those in the expanded comments below the video player. You can also let us know over on Ghost Recon Radio what you think, and maybe even have your comment discussed in an upcoming show. If you're interested in following that podcast, head on over to the web link on screen. I'll also have that in the comments below the video player as well. I'm one of the co-hosts of that program, so check it out if you haven't had the chance. Additionally, if you haven't already, this would be a great time to like and subscribe to make sure you stay up to date on all the latest news and information for Ghost Recon Wildlands. You can also follow me at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter for updates too. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.